Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, awkward Omiai encounters, teen protagonists pretending to be someone else, overly arrogant rich men with a rude disposition, hilariously weird misunderstandings, and 10-year age gap romances. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Listener discretion is advised. Episode 465, Takane Hana. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, some podcasts and vague reviews about connected enhanced narratives. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope all of you are doing well out there in internet land, and hope you're doing pretty good. I am doing pretty awesome, and I'm excited to talk about another fun manga. But beforehand, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Spiraken, or some podcasts and vague reviews about connected enhanced narratives, is a nerdy podcast where we talk about various geeky topics depending on the episode you're listening to. Since this is the manga review, obviously we're talking about manga. I tell you the art style is, the overarching plot, the characters, the production quality, and most importantly, if it's worth investing your time in or not. You don't have to agree with anything that I or my co-hosts say, but we try to be educational, enlightening, exciting, and most importantly, entertaining. You can find all of our earlier episodes at www.spiraken.com. You can also find us on youtube.com/Spiraken, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just type in Spiraken in the search bar, and I guarantee you find us one way or the other. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan, at Spiraken.com. You can tweet me at Spiraken, and if you like what you hear, support our Patreon and help us create more fun content for you to enjoy. That's at patreon.com/Spiraken. And now that all that chilling's out of the way, let's actually get to the manga review of the episode. Because if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it dictated to me that I'm reviewing a manga that was written by Yuki Shiwasu, and it's published by Hakusensha, which means it's being brought over to the United States by Viz Media. Yes, it's a Viz title, but it's not a Shonen Jump title. No, this was released in Hana to Yumi magazine, which means it's a shojo. The original run for this is December 20th, 2014 to July 20th, 2020. There's 18 volumes, and there is a live-action drama series that this is based on. And this romantic comedy that I'm talking about is called Takane Hana, or as it's translated in English, Takane Hana. So, this whole manga is based on kind of a lie. What happens is that one day, Yukari Nonomoru goes to bring her father food at his job, the local Zaibatsu, the Takaba conglomeration. She thought it'd just be a day to bring her food for her dad. That's not what happened at all. When she went there, the CEO of the company, a very old gentleman, sees this and is like, hey, that girl's beautiful. I'll set her up with my grandson and they'll get married because she's a normal person. He's a low-level employee, so this will make him less arrogant. So he tells Yukari's father, you're going to have an Omiai with my grandson coming up. Bring her. It'll be all good because she's beautiful and sexy and all this other stuff. Only problem is that the day of the Omiai, Yukari decides, I got a boyfriend. I'm going to just blow dad off. It doesn't matter if dad gets fired. I'll get money anyway. So her father, Shigeru, is in a really big bind. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, shit. My daughter isn't going to be there. We're supposed to be there, and my boss will fire me if he finds out that I don't have my daughter there. Oh, Hana, who's his 16-year-old daughter, listen, explains the situation and says, you know what we're going to do? We're going to dress you up, make you look like you're older. We'll say that you're your sister, and then when they decide they don't want to be with you, everything works out. I don't lose my job. It's all good. Good plan? Good plan. I know it's kind of insane, but that's what they do. So they dress up Hana to look a lot older. They put some makeup on, put her in a wig, and they take her to the Omiai, hoping that since the grandpa's a very old man, he won't realize that this is not the girl he saw in the store. So when he brings his daughter to this Omiai, she meets Takane Saibara, the heir to the Takaba conglomerate, and he is a very, how to put this politely, he's a jerk. Let's be honest. He's a jerk. He's a 26-year-old bachelor who's a businessman. He's the grandson of the head of the company, Soten Takaba, and he immediately looks at Hana and says, I don't like girls who wear makeup. It makes them look trashy. And he starts insulting her, and Hana just is like, I don't need to take this. This guy's spoiled and arrogant. She curses him out, and then she throws her wig at him. And because of this insult, they end up walking away. And her dad's like, oh, that did not go well. But you know what? They won't marry you, and they'll think your sister's fine, and it's good. However, the next day, she's in class, and her dad sends her a text message saying, yeah, Takane talked to me at work. You need to meet him at 7 o'clock tonight at this location. Please do this for me. Please. I don't want to get fired. So she ends up getting some of her sister's clothes and going to this meeting. And he's like, you don't own clothes that fit you? What? I thought. So it turns out that because of her outburst at his rudeness, she ends up amusing him and makes him intrigued. So he wants to kind of make it so that she acts like the other girls, and he keeps trying to get Hana to like him, thinking it's Yukari. And she's just like, no, and she ends up insulting him, and it's just going back and forth. This game of, I'm going to make you think my point of view is good. No, you're not. I'm going to make you think my point of view is right. And they just keep going back and forth for a bit, meanwhile holding the charade that Hana's actually Yukari. Then eventually, because this handsome guy keeps sending flowers and takes her on dates every single day, Yukari's like, wait a minute, this guy's rich. He's sending gold-covered flowers to my sister. You know what? We can't make this lie. I was supposed to go on a date with him, so I'll go out with him. And this kind of sucks because Hana started liking this little back and forth she had with this guy, but he's older than her, and you know what? He's kind of a jerk, so whatever. So the next day, she's like, fine, sis. You do this. I'm not going to say a word. And they look like a good couple. Anyway, she goes to class, and nothing happens, goes to dinner with her friends, and the guy immediately shows up and says, Hana, what the hell are you doing? You were supposed to meet me at this time. I thought we had an agreement. He's like, wait. You knew I wasn't? It's like, of course I knew you weren't. You're not, you're a kid. But I found you amusing. And it turns out he actually knew the entire time. And he's just been, just this weird game they have, this battle of bickering with each other has become amusing to him. And it's something that he loves doing, taking her to fancy restaurants, elaborate trips, buying opulent gifts, trying to get her to cave into this lifestyle. And he felt kind of insulted that she thought that he wasn't interested, that he is interested in the sister. And he told the sister off. He's like, what? You're saying that she couldn't meet me because, what, you're the actual person? No, I wanted to meet her, not you at this time. So they then become in a relationship, kind of. He picks her up from school, and it's him trying to get her interested in him. She's trying to... It's a whole romance going back and forth, which is really witty and funny. Just the whole thing of one of them is so arrogant and rude, and the other one's just kind of... Actually, this seems like a very modern reinterpretation of Pride and Prejudice, let's be honest. The poor person and the rich person, both from two different sides of the tracks, trying to ignore their feelings for each other while working hard. And it's funny. It's a very funny and very entertaining series, I gotta say. And the fact that it's released in English was really good. I don't know what to say. I mean, there's all these other characters that show up, like his cousin who's completely nuts, who looks exactly like him. There's her friends who are just shocked that, hey, their friend who's 16-year-old is essentially dating a 26-year-old. That's weird, but he has a sports car and he has a shit ton of money, so yeah. This guy goes over the top. It's not because he has romantic feelings for her. He's just trying to get her to like him. And then he's slowly building to liking her, and she's slowly building to liking him. And there's a lot of role reversal in this. For example, when she is found out and he reveals that he knew the entire time. Early on, he did the standard slam your hand against the person's side, the side of their head to kind of push them into the wall. And it's usually going for a kiss. But he does that, and he yells at her, and she's like, that's not what you're supposed to do. Don't you know what you're supposed to do? And he's like, I don't know. So when she tells him, she's like, I'll show you what you had to do this time. And she grabs his necktie, pulls him in for a kiss. It's kind of passionate, kind of crazy. It's a little weird, but it's I have to admit, I really liked it. I will admit, though, the fact that it's a 10-year relationship isn't that creepy, but the fact that she's 16 years old and he's 26, that part's creepy. If she was 26 and he was 36, I'd be like, yeah, okay, this works. But this is a 16-year-old and a 26-year-old, so that's kind of creepy. But I digress. So, let me get into some of the other elements about this. The art style, I really do enjoy it. It's a more modern shojo style. So it does have that more willowy look to it as opposed to the standard shonen style that I like. And I enjoy the art style with this. I love the fact that this is actually released and it's something very different. It's a good shoujo series. I will admit that. It's not the run-of-the-mill typical one that you see all the time. It's something a little different. Like I said, this seems a ripoff of Pride and Prejudice a little bit, but I think that is set in a more interesting way because of the fact that it opens up on a lie. Is that Hana is lying, pretending to be her sister because her sister, who's an airhead, said, I don't want to do this because I have a boyfriend. And then when her boyfriend breaks up with her, then she wants it. I like that element, that hook. And I actually really would want to see the live action, see how that goes with this. I'm curious. But for all these reasons, and for the reason I said earlier about which brings it down, I'd have to give this our second highest rating, which is Borrow from a Friend and Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky. This is a really good series. However, it's a little cringy for that one element. But I do like this series. It is well done. It's one I think that you should read. If you've read this or watched the drama, let me know what you think. Email me, zanspiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts. Also, speaking of the rating system for a moment, I am going to be changing the rating system because, let's be honest, I've been trying to get away from cursing my head off every single time, and I feel better not cursing. And because I'm lowering my cursing intake, I'm changing some of the things in the podcast. One of them is the rating system, which is the highest rating of really, really, really fucking cool. If you don't read this now, your brain will freeze, your eyes will slow up, your soul before for the great Zomo Gustar. I've put a post on the Twitter account, twitter.com/Spiraken, and I put a poll to see what everyone thought and what were the ideas. And there are some I put down really, really, really effing cool, must read now, an essential read, or own it, enjoy it, love it. And as of right now, currently the number one seems to be an essential read. Changing it to that. I might combine must read now and essential read, but we'll see. But if you want to check out this poll, go to the website and let me know what you think on Twitter. Anyway, so let's get to the manga releases for the week because we've got some fun ones. So these are the ones that came out on April 26, 2022. We have 29 new titles. First off, we've got Mushi Pedal, Volume 20. Yes, the return of Hime, Suki, Daisuki, Hime. Oh, sorry, I'm getting into the thing. I love Yao Pedal. It's so fun because and the thing is, I can't ride a bike, but I love this series. But anyway, next you had Wonder Cat Q-Chan Volume 5 coming out. WTH, the graphic novel, Part 9, 100% Witch Volume 5, the manga. Time Stop Hero Volume 4. I have no idea why that series has more than 4 volumes, because that series is utter garbage. We reviewed it in an earlier episode. The Wolf Never Sleeps Volume 1. The Saga of Tiny the Evil Volume 16. The Most Notorious Talker Runs the World's Greatest Clan Volume 1, the manga. The Haunted Bookstore, Gateway to a Parallel Universe, the light novel, Volume 3. The Detective is Already Dead, Volume 2, the manga. Something's Wrong with Us, Volume 8. Sayonara Football, Volume 9. Sasuke and Miyano, Volume 5. Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling, light novel, Volume 4. Plunderer, Volume 9. Non Biori, Volume 16. My Dress-Up Darling, Volume 5. We talked about this last episode. Got to pick that up. Let's Go Karaoke, the manga. Laid Back Camp, Volume 11. Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon 2, Volume 2. I Want to Be a Wall, Volume 1. Hitori Jimi My Hero, Volume 12. Headhunter to Another World, From Salaryman to Big 4, Volume 3. Happy Chronicles Killer Life, Volume 4. Eden Zero, Volume 16. Dance in the Vampire Bund, Age of Scarlet Order, Volume 6. Daily Report About My Witch Senpai, Volume 2. Cherry Magic, 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard, Volume 4. Blackguard, Volume 1. And A Galaxy Next Door, Volume 1. So those are the manga releases for the week. For me, the ones I'm most excited about are definitely Yaoi Pedal, Saga of Tanya the Evil, which for some reason I haven't been able to spin on the wheel of manga. Every time I put it on, it flips out. Sasuke and Miyano, My Dress-Up Darling, Let's Go Karaoke, I Want to Be a Wall, and Happy Kaneko. I am curious about what else on here that I haven't heard about. I check out like Blackguard, I don't know anything about, so I might look into that. And The Wolf Never Sleeps, well, I think I know what that's about, but I can look into that. But those are the titles that came out. Which ones are you interested? Let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com. So before we go any further, let me get to some last bit of news. Remember, I'm going to be at Anime Boston 2022. That is going to be the last weekend of May, and I'll be giving several panels, 6 of them, and I'll be talking at the featured panelist panel, which I think is going to be the first panel on Friday. That means it's going to be like at 9, 10, or 11 o'clock. I'll give more information once I know officially when it is, but I've got 6 panels. I'm giving away a bunch of manga. I can't wait to meet all of you, so if you listen to the podcast and you go to the panel, let me know. I might give you some heads up if you're playing the Insane Manga Challenge, or I might give you some free swag. You have to wait and see. So check out Anime Boston 2022. It's going to be a great con. It's at the Prudential Center in Boston. So I think that's it for this episode, besides the big thing. But I'd like to thank all of you for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope all of you are doing well. To all my society members, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being part of the Patreon. I'm releasing a new episode of the Patreon exclusive podcast, so check that out on Friday. And thank you for listening. Join the Patreon if you haven't joined it. There's 4 tiers with tons of good rewards depending on the tier. And remember to like, share, subscribe. And with that in mind, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So we're going to spin this Wheel of Manga. Whatever number it lands on, that manga that's in that slot is the one I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 466. That is 34 away from episode 500. And we got some great titles on here, and I'm excited to see what we're going to review in the next episode. So let's spin, shall we? Number 2 again. Wow, I didn't expect that. So in the next episode, I'm reading an isekai, a weird one at that. Reincarnated as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. I remember that light novel coming out. I never read it though, so we'll see how it goes. I can't wait to see how that manga is. So I think that's it for this episode. Thank you all so much for listening. I can't wait to release another episode, and thank you for all the emails and tweets you send me. Every time I get a new one, it just gives me a little more incentive to keep doing this because I love doing this. I love giving recommendations and talking to you, all of you. And I want to keep doing this until I'm an old man who has to read large print manga with a magnifying glass and still be informative and still be giving informative reviews about connected enhanced narratives. So thank you for listening, and keep checking these out. And as usual, I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Catch you guys next time. And most importantly, keep reading manga. I'll see you later.